Hello everyone, Mr. Hissner here, and today we are going to be looking at circles. We're going to start looking at circles. This is just the very beginning. Circles are something that we do know quite a bit about. We know circles have 360 degrees. We know that the radius is from half the circle to the edge. We know the diameter is a line that goes through the entire circle. So there are some of these things that we do know about circles. So just try to pull on that knowledge as we begin this and go through this, because again, this is stuff that we know. Like if I draw a line like this, we know that this is the radius. If we go the whole way around the circle, we know it's 360 degrees. If I draw a line that goes through this basically two of the radii are the diameter. And so the one thing we're going to be looking at is what is a central angle, and then the degree of an arc. So if I make, let's say this is like 84 degrees, and then we have 2 points here. Let's just call this AB. Then we can say that the measure of arc AB is equal to 84 degrees. And let's see, how about DC for center? And let's say we could also go around the other way, right? So AB would be this one. We could go ADB, we could go kind of the opposite way. So we could find the measure of angle of arc, the measure of the degree of the arc, ADB, that's two B's, arc, the degree of the arc. And this again will be 360 minus 84, just the rest of it. And so this one would be 276. So we have these ways to measure these arc, the degrees of the arcs. The next thing we look at are the physical measurements, the sort of the distance, if we were going to put like a piece of string on the arc itself. But now we're just looking at the degrees. So that's what we are going to be looking at in this lesson. So first thing, let's make one. How about one that looks like this? How about I got some stuff that looks like this. All right, let me just clean this up just a little bit. So we got U, T, S. Let's say this one is 72 degrees. We got W, we got X in here, and we got V. What about the measure of angle UXV? Let's make the U better. What about measure of angle UXV? So this would be the measure of this angle. So UXV would be this angle in here. So what would this be? Well, if you notice that, oh man, maybe I can just do my best here. Let me just try this better. There we go. So these are going to be vertical angles. And so this angle measure would also be 72. And if we look at the measure of UV, the degree of the arc. So if we look at the arc degree of, let's say, UV, this would also be 72. So that angle measure in between those two, and then this arc angle measure will be the same. What about the measure of arc ST? What about the measure of angle arc ST? Well, if we know, this is 87. So if we know that, let's see, this one is 87, well, this is a straight line here. WU is a straight line, and so I can do 72 plus the measure of arc ST plus 87 is equal to 180, and simply subtract these two values from 180. And we get what we're looking for, the angle measure of this arc, and this would be 21. So again, just some familiar stuff here that we're doing. Let's look at some other ones. Let me just put 21 in here so I know. Okay, how about TW, the arc measure of TW? TW, so that's this one. Oh, it's just going to be 72 plus 21, that is 93. And then finally, which one do we want to look at? How about the measure of TVW? No, TVW, yeah. So TVW. Okay, so this is going to be, well, oh, okay, so we know this is 72, right? 72. 72. Oh, what I can do is I can take 360. TVW, and I can find out what I am missing because I have all these other ones. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out what this angle X in here is. So I'm going to do 360 minus 21 minus 72 minus 72 minus 87. Let's see what that is. 360, 21, 72, 72, 87. 21 minus 72 minus 72 minus 87. All right, so this one in here is 108. And now what I can do is I can take 87. I can take this piece here. Let me get the blue. 87, and I can just kind of take all of these angle measures up to here and just add them together. 72. And this is 267. All right, guys. So yeah, that's the general idea here. Is whenever we're doing stuff like this, what we want to do is think about how can we use these angles that we're given. How can we come to these conclusions and continue on these paths. But again, just remember that some things we know: straight lines add up to 180. Vertical angles have equal lengths. And we can always add angles together to get certain values, right? So if we can put angles together. And then finally, now we have this new thing is that we can take this total sum of a circle and subtract those values from 360. All right, guys, thanks for watching.